everyone. So in this tutorial, we're going to be talking about the standard library functions getchar and putchar. So what getchar does is it reads the next input character from a text string and returns that as its value. And then for putchar, it just prints a character each time it is called. So for an example of when you would use these two standard functions is when you're reading from a file. So right now, I'm just going to give you an example of that. So we're going to, as normal, we're going to include our standard I/O. Next, we're going to type int main. And next, we're going to declare the variable in C. Set that to 0. That's always good habit. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to set C equal to getchar, brackets. Then we're going to create a while loop. So while C is not equal to end of file. So end of file, for those of you that don't know, is just a special identifier at the end of a file that tells the program that it's done reading the file. All right, and then bracket, curly brackets. And then we're going to call the function putchar. C, semicolon, and then finally C is equal to getchar. Okay, so I just wanted to explain what we've gotten so far. Oh, little typo up there. So we're declaring a variable C, then we're setting C equal to getchar, and remember what getchar does is it's going to get a character from some text input. And then we're going to enter, so for example, if we were reading a file with this program, and then we're going to enter our while loop while the C character is not equal to the end of file. We're going to continue reading, and we're going to print the characters of that file to the screen using putchar. And then finally, we're going to set C equal to getchar and keep looping until we're done the end of the file. Now let's make sure that compiles, just to make sure we haven't done any mistakes. Now let's see, so we type remember, we type in our compiler name. Characters, .c, and then -o characters. Oh, my bad, I forgot to change the directory. All right, there we go. So we've made sure that our program runs correctly. All right, so the next program we are going to create is called, and next program is going to be called character counting. So we're going to write a file called count. All right, standard I/O. All right, so to count characters in a file, we're going to declare a variable of a new type called long, which is just an integer value that can hold bigger values than a normal integer. So we're going to call it long no count, then equal to 0. And then we're going to say while getchar is not equal to end of file, we're going to ++nc. Now, if you're unfamiliar with ++nc, so basically with the new operator ++, when we put it before the word, it basically means we're going to increment the value of nc. And then finally, print okay, and once we've gotten all the character count, we are going to go outside of our while loop, use the print function, and this time we're going to quote and then %long digit, new line, and then comma nc. Okay, so what we've done here is declare a variable that's going to count the number of characters in our file, and then we're going to enter this while loop. While we're going to get the characters, and while it's not ended file, every time this function is ran, we're going to increment our variable number of characters. And then finally, once that's done, we're just going to print the number of characters to the screen. Again, we're going to make sure this compiles just to make sure we didn't make any mistakes. Okay, that's all good. All right, now the last thing we want to do is do a line counting. Next thing we want to do is line count. So we're going to create a new file called line.c. Again, we're going to do our standard I/O. Int main. And this time, we're going to declare two variables of type int c, and our variable that's going to count the number of lines. And we're going to enter another while loop. While c equals getchar, is not equal to end of file, and then we're going to do something new that's called an if statement. So if c, so we put in our condition, if c is equal to, remember the two equal signs, the new line character, then we're going to increment the number of lines. Here we go. And then finally, we're going to call our print function again, and %d to print a digit. And then we're going to print new line. Okay, so what? Just a quick recap. what we've done is declared a variable, a character variable to hold our character, a number of lines character. We enter this while loop. We call getchar to get the character and put it into C, and then if that character is equal to new line, we're going to increment the number of lines. And once we've got the number of lines, now that we've reached in the file, we're just going to print the number of lines. All right. All right, our last program, what we're going to do is we're going to count the number of words in a file. Oh, one last thing too, just to make sure our line file compiles. Okay, all is good. So in our last program, again, we're going to use our hash include standard IO int main and next we are going to define some constants up here, and remember we learned that in the last lesson. So we're going to hash define a variable in, set that equal to 1, which is going to be the inside of a word, and then we're going to define out. Remember, by convention, these are uppercase, equal to 0. Okay. All right, so we're going to go back down in here into our main. Okay, so we're going to declare some variables now. So first we're going to declare our character variable. Next we're going to declare our number of lines character. Variable, I mean. And next we're going to declare our number of words variable. Then finally we're going to declare our number of characters equal to 0. And then state. All right, so we're going to declare state equal to out. And remember, out is our constant variable that is equal to 0. Then we're going to say new line, number of lines is equal to number of words. Wait, never mind. Okay, now we're going to declare a while loop. So while C is equal to getchar and then while it's not equal to end of file, we're going to increment the number of characters. Then we're going to say if C is equal to the new line character, then we're going to increment the new line value. Then if C is equal to a space, or, now remember this or is just these two vertical lines. C is equal to the new line character, or C is equal to tab character, then state is equal to out. Else, if state is equal to out, then state is going to be equal to in, and we're going to increment the number of words. All right. So let's review what we are doing. So we're declaring some variables. This variable is going to contain our character. This one is our number of lines, our number of words, and then our number of characters, as well as the state. And if state is equal to out or 0, state will be initially set to out or 0. So while c is equal to getchar, so we call our getchar function to set c to some value, and is not equal to the end of file, we're going to increment the number of characters because we're still counting. And then if c is equal to new line character, we're going to increment the number of lines. And then if c is equal to a space, a new line, or a tab, we're going to set our state equal to out. And then else if state is equal to out, we're going to set our state equal to in, and then we're going to increment the number of words. All right, so we successfully made our word counter. So we're just going to go down here just to make sure everything compiles. All right, and everything works. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Next time we are going to be talking about arrays.